So what's up, my fellow YouTube friends? I'm coming to make a video today, but like I did not feel like making a video today. Like I'm having one of those days where it's like low-key you down and you're really upset, like, and you really don't want to deal with anything or anybody. Like I knew something was wrong because like I felt myself getting tired. And you know, when you feel yourself getting tired, it means that you've been dealing with a lot of stuff for a while and it's just now catching up with you. Like if you're somebody who's like me, I'm typically like the strong friend all the time. But like, I don't know. Like I've been going through a lot of freaking warfare and everything like that. And like, when you're, how do I say this? I hope that somebody understands this. But when you start walking with God, things start to get very supernatural. So you're seeing things in the spiritual realm, and you're seeing like God is trying to show you your problems through your dreams and everything else. And not just that, you're dealing with devils and stuff that have been sitting on you for a while, or that have been in your family bloodline for a while, or whatever the case is. So it's stuff that you have to deal with, right? And because God loves us and we know He knows that in our fragile state, we are not able to even handle these kind of things because you're already on the fritz. You know what I'm saying? Like He already knows that you're split. And what I mean by that is that when we have like issues in our life, like let's go with the stuff I had to deal with, because I don't know how to talk about nobody else's stuff. So childhood traumas, sexual traumas, abandonment, just issues like that. And I'm saying that like it's a small thing, but it's like no, there's been like it's a lot. It's a lot. And people who have been through these kind of things, they make it seem like it's small because we've been trying to cope with it so long. You know what I'm saying? But like God is trying to show me that it's like he doesn't allow us to sweep things under the rug, guys. Like He will allow you to like kind of act like it's not there and stuff like that when you're like still a baby Christian and stuff like that, or you're not close to Him, because He knows that you're not going to be able to handle it on your own. And let's be honest, how did you handle things and problems before you got into the grace of God and into His love? You probably was drinking. I know for me, I had a lot of relationships that were really just sexual things, even though I called them, they were my boyfriend and everything like that. But let's call a spade a spade. I realized a lot of these people, I didn't even really, it's like they became relationships, but now that I look at it, I'm like, it wasn't love. It was just a coping mechanism. Like, like you don't want to be by yourself. I realized the Lord actually had to show me that He's like, you never really been by yourself. Like once I hit my adult life, He's like, you were always in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? And even when I was trying not to, I would just somehow end up in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? And, I was one of those people who dated the same person over and over, and I grew up with, there was like and not just from, like, it's hard to explain to you because I feel like I would have to go through my whole history, and I'm not trying to do that. But there was just like a lot of mental abuse and stuff like that in my history. Like I said, sexual traumas and abuse, and, not feeling like you had someone to protect you because certain people who were supposed to protect you did not, and that's whether it was in a romantic relationship or, not having your parents there when you needed them and stuff like that. Like, stuff like that. And I don't even like saying stuff like that because, people, it hurts people around you because they're like, they're thinking that they were doing their best, but they, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's such a hard thing when you deal with traumatic situations, because it's like you as somebody who was a victim aren't even allowed to feel like a victim because your victimization makes other people feel bad. But it's like, bro, your truth is your truth. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then that's hurtful in itself, because to this day, like certain people that you want to be able to like really vent to and hope that they understood, even if it hurts them in a way, they'll like spaz out on you because they're not able to receive that because they're secretly like hiding from it. You know what I'm saying? They're not ready to receive the truth and everything because they know it makes them look like a bad guy or feel like a bad guy. And so it's like healing is such a rocky situation because it's like you don't know how people are going to receive you, but then it messes up your relationships because now you isolate yourself. You don't know how to freaking have real relationships. You're in relationships for looking for affection and love from people that will never give it to you. So you go with people who are abusive, like the people that you dealt with, and leave you feeling abandoned and stuff because you feel like that feels safer than trying to have an intimate relationship with someone, because then this healthy person is going to know that you're broken. Like, bro, when I tell you, it's so much. But God has really been having me look at myself deeply, because it's like the closer you get to him and the more the more you're on fire for him, his spirit is going to grow within you, but then it forces the bad things out. Like the more of him that you gain into you, and the more he expands in you, it pushes the bad stuff to the surface. But then it's like, it can be very hard, because if you're like, I don't want to say you're not ready to deal with it, because God is like one of those people who he knows when you're strong enough, he knows when you're strong enough. He knows when you're able to do something. And I believe he brings it up at a time where he's like, okay, you've been sitting with me for a while. I want to deal with this with you. But it's like with me, and I don't want to cry. Like, I feel like I'm about to cry. Like, bro, it's like, it's not that I don't want to deal with it. Is that I've been made to feel unsafe for so long that even when God is trying to bring something up to me, like, I feel scared to do that, because I'm like, if I fall apart, who's going to hold me? And that's like, I feel like that's like been the situation since I was a kid. And it's like, you grew up your whole life feeling like that, and then people expect you to be a normal human being, and I was that person that it's like, somebody next to me could be, they start crying or something like that, and everybody like will bend for them and everything. But then when it comes to me, they give me all the tough love and, oh, you need to be stronger and everything. Like, I'm like, bro, and like sometimes I was like, God, I'm like, why do you allow that? Like, I'm like, I'm a girl just like she's a girl. So I'm like, why do I have, everybody expects me to have perfection and everything else, and this person over here, they let them get away with, anything. And I always had the sink or swim, like lifestyle. It's like, bro, they just toss me out there and it's like, okay, figure it out, and it's like, I've done it, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, bro, nobody wants to be the strong person all the time, because it's like, then you turn around, you're carrying the weight of everybody, and you're freaking broken, bro. And it's like sometimes it makes me angry with God, because it's like, bro, like it's like there's always more being asked of you, and I'm like, bro, what if I didn't even have nothing to begin with? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's one thing if you ask more and more of me, but like, it's like, bro, it's like people want to keep asking you to pull 200 from zero. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, I don't know, experiencing all the warfare and everything, I was already tired. I already been praying at the crack of dawn and everything like that. So, and then work has its own problems, and I got my kids and everything else. Like, there's just so much stuff that's always pulling on you, especially if you've been a single mom. And then it's like, bro, when, you can't avoid the problem, because it keeps being brought up to you. And I'm like, I don't want to avoid problems anymore. But it's like, bro, when you already feel tired and weak from just dealing with life and trying to do purpose and everything else, and then you get up here and now it's like all your crap is bubbling to the surface, and God's not letting you avoid things anymore, and you trying to deal with things. It's like, bro, it's like, I ain't gonna lie to you. I ignored God all day today. If I'm being 100. If I'm being 100, I ignored God all day. I was pissed off and I didn't know what to say. So I went to dissociation. I really just kind of like zoned out. I was on my phone. I was scrolling. I was talking to my sister for like 4 hours today. I went outside. I went out to eat. Went to get groceries. I ignored God all day today, because I was just like, bro, I'm so sick of this stuff, bro. Like, I've been trying. I'm just ready, like, for my life to be back. And it's like I'm still in the situation where, like, God has turned my life upside down. Like, everything that my life used to be, he leveled it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not even upset about that, because that's something that's part of the process, because he's not going to build on some foundation that you built for yourself. Because when God redoes your life, he has to build up on himself. But it's like, bro, it's like when you don't know how to fix something, and you don't know how to respond, and then like something comes up to you, and you like, now you have to try to figure out, okay, how am I going to deal with this? And as a Christian, and I know I love God. I've been through too much with God. I've seen too much with God to be disrespectful to God. And I was just in a place where I was like, bro, like I'm already tired. I'm already irritated because I want my life back. I want my stuff back. And I'm like, and now you showing me these problems from childhood that I gotta deal with. And it like, it's like every time you turn around, it feels like, you know, you're seeing something else is wrong with me. Something else is wrong with me. Something else is wrong with me. You know, you're going back and you're trying to unlearn your whole freaking life. You know? And it gets very stressful. But I see why people don't, and I think that that's why people would rather live a lie than actually fix themselves. Because you have to face how long you've been broken. And it sucks. It freaking sucks. You don't even realize that half of how you are and everything that you do and the way that you think it comes from freaking trauma and from feeling unsafe for most of your life, bro. And I literally had to sit here and like, because God has been teaching me not to be emotional as much, because you know when you listen to your emotions, it can become an idol, and next thing you know, you don't even know how to do anything. Now you're just angry and you're ready to punch people, and you know, or you feel depressed and everything else. I'm like, I'm not about to do that, because I already got too many things I'm trying to clean up in my life, and I know I have to fix this because He's already shown me that, you know, the enemy tries to fragment your spirit and your soul and everything like that to keep you broken, because that's what allows demons access to you. So the longer that you hide things and you sweep things under the rug and you don't allow God to really get in there, it's going to be a hindrance for you. It's going to be something that continues to split you. It's going to be something that gives you multiple personalities and everything else, because people don't realize that they start using these coping mechanisms that are unhealthy to even just live with the things that they don't want to deal with. And I had to realize, I was like, even like, I literally just, because I was like, okay, I finally got to the point where I'm like, all right, I went all day ignoring you, God, because I didn't want to say nothing that would have been like crazy or something like that. I didn't want to get angry, and I really just need to stop doing that, because God wants you to come to Him for He wants to rescue you. You don't have to hide from Him like you used to have to hide from the person who always yelled at you and like, what's wrong with you, and why, I don't know why you gotta be like this, and you know, meanwhile they the one who did what made you upset, and now they want you to act like nothing happened, bro. But God is not like that, bro. Like He wants to help you through that problem. He even if you're like, I've been in prayer where I was cussing, bro, like I mean cussing. And, bro, I could cry just from that, bro. That's why, like, bro, like, nothing will make me stop loving God, bro. Because I can name like 12 people right now that I feel like I did the world for, and where are they? They're nowhere to be found, bro. And if you talk to them now, they probably shit on my name, and we'd be at 110%. But you've lied. You probably cheated, you know what I'm saying? Could have stole, could have murdered someone, and God's like, if you would turn around and you'll come to me, He don't remember nothing. You could be different today. You know, like people, everybody has a folding point. You know, some people have a tougher stronghold than others, you know what I'm saying, like that, or threshold. They're able to stand with you longer than others. But everybody has a folding point. Everybody has a folding point. The only person that you could depend on being there forever, always, and nothing's ever gonna be too hard, is God, bro. That's the only thing that you can always believe in. And once I realized that the only place I can always count on for love and peace and assurance and for help is God, bro. I ain't never been the same. I ain't never been the same. Man. Like, after my freaking this breakup that I had with the man I thought I would marry, bro. Like, I was so broken, so crushed, bro, that I decided, like, you know how you normally you break up with somebody and you go and, okay, I'm about to level up and blah blah blah, but you don't really, but by the time you done leveled up, you never even fix nothing about yourself. Like, you did a outside paint job, you know what I'm saying, and you never get to, you it's not like you don't plan on working on the inside of you, but you don't leveled up so good it done caught the attention of like 8 people, and now you end up in another relationship with the same problems, you know what I'm saying? So I decided, after that breakup, that, like, I was broken, bro. I was like, no, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to work on the inside of me. And I even got to the point, I'm like, no, I'm going to strip everything down. I stopped doing my hair and everything like that. Stopped dressing all cute and stuff like that. I'm like, head wraps, basic, jeans and stuff like that. No, you're going to work on the inside of you, bro. But when I tell you, it is not always cute. You have days when you feel victorious because you're like, okay, I worked through this thing that, part of my personality that used to make me, bitter and stuff like that. So you feel a little bit better. But then when God started bringing up that real, like, one of the big ones, like, and it sometimes it blindsides you. Like, and it's something that you thought you already addressed, and you realize that there's more roots to it, and you're like, bro, So, and I'm not gonna lie to you, when something was already hard for you to deal with the first time, and God starts showing you that there's like 7 roots to it, you like, nigga, like. And then it's like you have to go and like for me, I like to research everything. So when God shows me something, it's like, bro, now I gotta go deep dive and I gotta figure it out, because I need to make new neural connections that will like really cut this thing out for me. Not just that, but going to God's word, and now you have to start renewing your mind and the word around that and everything like that, and being consistent prayer. And I'm like, I honestly think I'm about to have to really go through like another fasting season, because I'm like, bro, I gotta let this go, because I know that where God is taking me, I can't be shatter-minded. I will not be shatter-minded. It took me forever to get over my past. I don't know if there's anybody out there, but it's like, bro, it took me forever to even feel like I was somewhat unbroken. And it's like, bro, and during that season of brokenness, man, I made decisions that were just like so beneath me. So beneath me. I was acting like somebody who was so beneath me, bro. Even the relationships, I regret the relationships, but I don't regret the relationships, because it's like, bro, I know that somebody in the future, I'm gonna lay hands on somebody in the future, and I'm gonna be able to look them in the eyes while they're crying and everything else, and say that I've been there, and pull them out of that situation mentally. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because you know what? You can't help nobody if you ain't been nowhere. And I know some people be sitting there crying about their life, and they're like, they hate that they're going through this. It makes them hate themselves, it makes them hate God and everything else. But it's like, bro, God is not a bad guy, bro. A lot of the stuff, it's just because people weren't in their place in God, so they didn't protect you the way they were supposed to. They weren't listening when God was giving them the direction to go check something and everything else. People get busy in life, and there's so many different elements that's going on, And so it's never God. God would never allow someone to he's never going to send somebody be like, yeah, go harm this girl. Like, no. It's one thing is if you were like a killer or something like that, and then God sends somebody to go, knock you down if you're not. That's different. But God's not going to be like, yeah, go rape that girl. Like, no, God, like, we know that this type of stuff is not going to, God is not doing that. But we blame God because we're like, why didn't you stop that? But he could have been sent. This is what I'm trying to tell you. God put us here to be the hands and feet. So all this time, like you hear so many stories of people getting hurt and stuff like that, and then they're like, something was telling me to go check, one of the parents and like that. Something told me that something was off, and I should have. That was God. When someone finally comes and they see what's happening to pull you out, normally they end up going to find you because something told them that something was off. That was God. God grieves when you grieve. His eyes are always roaming the earth to and fro. He knows the heart and mind and intentions of people. And this is why he tells you to come to me and ask me what you're supposed to be doing with your life. Ask me if people are okay. He said, run things by me first so that you will be successful in life. People want to blame God, but did your parents ask God if they should be dealing with a certain person before they brought them around you? Do your parents even pray? Do you go to church? Has God been a part of your life at all? You know what I'm saying? Like we blame God for everything. But are we living right? Are we inviting God into our situations? Because God needs invitation. God don't just show up. He gave us free will. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes he'll do some miraculous things to keep you from dying and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of the situations we get put in because we are not doing what we're supposed to do. If we're being honest. God is so gracious and so merciful that he turns everything that we did for our good. And I know that's hurtful for some people to hear. Because it's like, dang, nobody wants to be to blame. Nobody wants to be to blame. That's why we blame God, because we think that we hold him to such high standards. But then are you holding yourself to any standards? But I'm going to digress on that because I'm just like, I can't, I think about my life. I'm like, yeah, there's some things I couldn't handle, especially in childhood and stuff like that, because I wasn't responsible for myself. There were people who were supposed to be responsible for me. But you got to remember that those people are dealing with stuff too. You're thinking about people who they weren't able to properly protect you. A lot of them are young parents, don't even know what to do, don't even have fathers, don't even have nobody to be an example or anything like that. And then now they're trying to raise you. Like there's so many elements to things happen around us all the time. So it's like, bro, that's why God teaches us compassion and forgiveness and stuff like that, because you don't even know what the person who is raising you or around you or you're dating has even dealt with before they got to you. And some of you guys are never going to get apologies for the things that have happened to you. And I know that because it's happening to me. You're going to have to find a place of forgiveness for people who will never say sorry, never think they did nothing. Why? Because they're so self-absorbed, they're narcissistic, they're demonically possessed. Like there's so much stuff going on and they're so self-absorbed because they've been hurt. And they made a personality to cover that won't allow them to see you because they don't even see themselves, people. And I'm only sharing everything I'm dealing with right now to let somebody know that you're despite all of the mess, despite all the days that you gotta be crying at work, crying in your car, bro, you're trying to get through the day and you're angry, you're feeling depressed, and you feel like your mind is spiraling, you're overthinking everything like that. God is still there. And he's got you. And all you got to do is just let him in, because he'll start to lead you to, solutions. He'll lead you to videos that'll help you. He'll lead you to books to read. He'll open up healing for you by revealing the roots to these things. If God exposes something, it's because he intends to help you get through it. And he knows it's going to freak you out at first because you've been avoiding this thing like the plague, honey. You've been like, every time it came at you doing the matrix, you're like, you know what I'm saying? Like you did not want to deal with this because it brings shame, it brings up guilt, it brings up condemnation, and that's all not yours. He's like, that is mine to take. All those bad sensations that you get when you think about the bad things that hurt you, That's not even yours to bear. If it to carry, if anything, that belongs to the person who harmed you, bro. But yet, as somebody who it happened to, you carry that shame, and God wants to take that from you. That's why you need to pray. That's why you need to allow God, even if you gotta be crying, cussing, and everything else. He'd rather you be crying and cussing and letting it go, because everything that you reveal to His light will die. It will get His love, and His light will get to the root of that, so that you can be happy. And the reason why He is doing this is because He is trying to take you somewhere. He is trying to use what is within you. He's trying to use the good fruit. He's going to turn all those bad things into seeds for good fruit. But He can't have you being a wounded mess, because all you're going to do as a wounded mess is bleed on other people. And He's going to use the same things that broke you to rebuild you, and then to pour out blessings and healing for other people. And so if you need a reason to fight, fight because He gave you a purpose from your pain. Fight because you're going to be the generation that changes everything. Fight because your kids are not going to deal with the same things you dealt with. And that's another thing. If you don't deal with it within yourself, and you don't bring those prayers up to God, you don't bring those pain points and all those things that happen to you, there could be some demonic force that's trying to bring it to your children and your children's children, because you don't want to deal with the root cause of it. And you're going to live a life full of fear, because you know that you got problems that you're not dealing with. And you know that there are problems that are going to catch up to you. You can feel it when you get quiet. That's why you don't want to be quiet. That's why you don't want to go to sleep without music. That's why you don't want to be going throughout your day without loud or smoking something or drinking something or doing drugs or something like that. That's why you're out there having sex, because you're trying to avoid what you already know when you get quiet. Let's talk about that. God wants to free you. God wants you to have peace. God wants you to feel okay and safe to connect with people. Some of you guys are so scared or so broken and so like you get stressed when you're around people. You don't trust nobody. You feel scared to tell anybody that anything that's going on with you, because you think they're going to weaponize it, use it against you and everything else, because of all the bad people you dealt with, bro. Because of all the people who just left you for dead, bro. And if that is you, bro, if that's you, sis, I want to let you know that you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. And you do not have to hold on to that victimization. You do not have to hold on to that trauma. You do not have to hold on to that fear. You do not have to hold on to that anger. You don't have to abuse yourself, because that's what it is. When you don't get rid of this stuff, you start to abandon yourself. You start to abuse yourself. You start to treat yourself the way that these freaking predators treated you, bro. And you get stuck in those cycles, bro. And you end up alone, because you don't know how to. You get to a point where you're confused about even how to have a healthy relationship with others and yourself. And then you can't have a healthy relationship with God, because you treat Him according to the ways and the things that you have been psychologically programmed to, because you have PTSD. Let's talk about that. You might be getting bipolar symptoms, or you're starting to create these different characters that you play to make yourself feel better about yourself. So now you create multiple personalities, and whenever you feel anxious or depressed and stuff like that, now you're spaced out. You're trying to come outside of yourself and everything else. Like, bro, it's all from splitting. It's all from emotional torment that you do not know how to deal with, because of all the mess is still sitting there. You didn't heal the root cause. And we're not even gonna get talking about rejection, bro. Being rejected by someone that you thought should love you forever. Being rejected by people that you thought were friends, your deepest friends. Being rejected by people that you thought were supposed to protect you in your life, and they just did not. The betrayal. Some of y'all get so sad because y'all can't even talk to your mother or father, bro. They make everything about them. They'll never see you, bro. Never see you. And it doesn't matter. Everybody else could think you're worth $1 million. They'll never see you. They'll spit on your name. Wouldn't throw water on you if you were on fire, bro. But God, bro. But God. Lean into him. He wants to take your hand, man. When I tell you he's calling me, he's like, all right. All right. He gave me a little bit of a reprieve. You know, he's starting to let me get back outside again, because when he first calls you to himself, he calls you into like this. Yeah, guys. This quiet solitude, because he wants you all to himself. But he knows that that's not always healthy for us in the long term, because then we get to the point where we don't even want to deal with people who go outside. Like, you can become a real hermit doing that. I ain't gonna hold you. But he started to let me outside, let me work. He's like, all right. You know, I did a great amount of work. I could tell because my life is advancing, but you'll know that you even have problems, because certain parts of your life, it seems like you keep trying to go for it, but then there's a ceiling there. You keep feeling like, okay, I'm going, but then there's something blocking me. It's something you ain't dealt with yet. And and you'll know, because the moment that you get that mental breakthrough, everything turns around for you. Everything turns around for you. Like, even with my weight, I'm like, I notice that I'm always real skinny when I feel good about myself. Like, when life is going good, when I'm happy. I've been dealing with weight loss for a while right now, and it seems like I keep getting to, like, I'll drop like a good 10 pounds and I'll get stuck at a weight and I can't pass it. And then the moment I clear something mentally, 2-3 pounds falls off, 5 pounds falls off with no problem, not even thinking about it, not even hungry. And a lot of you are gonna realize, if you look up the results and the responses to like childhood abuse, childhood sexual abuse, hard breakups and PTSD that comes from that and everything, like, you'll realize that so much of what you think is your personality actually comes from trying to cope with trauma. Some of you can't break that porn addiction because you were exposed to sexual things while you were young, and your body was not even mentally developed enough to know how to handle sexual responses. And now you have unhealthy sex desires, unhealthy sex life, can't really, like, you know what I'm saying? You need overstimulation, hyperstimulation. Some of you, especially for guys, I know that, you know, y'all don't get a lot of emotional help and support and stuff like that. So a lot of you guys want to have sex with everything because you just need not only a release and everything else from anger and aggression and everything else, but that's the only way that y'all get affection, somebody touching on you and saying nice, sweet things to you and stuff like that. Like, and for some women too. For me, I know with my lifestyle and everything like that, not only did I need that for affection, but that was the only time I got to be a woman. Like, I have had the lifestyle of a man my whole life, bro. Like, high expectations, providing, being the only person there, like, when it comes to, like, raising the kid and stuff like that. Like, you know, and I'm not saying that my son's father and everything weren't doing what they need to do, but I had the responsibility of the children. So it's not crapping on nobody. You know what I'm saying? And I'm the person that a lot of my family members look to for help whenever things go wrong and stuff like that. So it's like, bro, you have all this pressure, and then you're trying to build yourself and climb and be successful and everything. And like I have to wear like 20 different hats. And I know a lot of women could relate to this. Like, it's like you're expected to be 20 people in one. And then on top of that, you're serving everybody else. How many people are pouring back into you? Let's be honest. You know? That we have so many unhealthy mindsets and so much unhealthy stuff that's happening in the body of Christ too. You know? Like, there's just so much stuff, bro. So much stuff, and so much stuff that gets hushed because people don't want to talk about it because it brings up too much waves, and really what I think it is, people don't have the freaking answers, and so they just want to hush everybody. You know? Or they want to keep up appearances, bro. But screw appearances, bro. Because the only thing that's going to be apparent is that you're a freaking mess. And then everybody's going to blame you for being a mess. And I'm sorry if I'm ranting, bro. I didn't even want to make this video, but I was like, bro, I know somebody out there need this, bro. Like, I literally, I didn't want to talk to God at all today, bro. I didn't want to talk to God at all because, like, I'm looking at myself in the spiritual realm, and I'm seeing this stuff happening in the spiritual realm to me, and it's mirroring all my trauma. You know, because these devils, they know exactly what you're doing because they put it there. And so that, you know, while you're fighting and for your life and you're fixing things, you're gonna see things starting to try to, you know, shatter your mentality and stuff like that. And I'm like, I'm not falling for it, but it doesn't make it any harder to deal with, especially when you're already tired. I'm praying fervently because I want my life to change. And I don't like to be sitting there in long seasons of hoping and praying. Like, no, I don't like that. I don't like that. I'm a very get to it. I'm a go getter gangster. I can't sit in something too long. You know? I'm very type A from my lifestyle, from having to fend for myself. I can't stand it in mess because I'm like, who else is going to fix it for me? And you know what's funny? That's been my biggest thing with God because he's trying to tell me that I'm going to fix it for you. And I'm still fighting because I've always had to fight. I'm still trying to let go of a lot of things and just trust God. But it's like, bro, when you couldn't trust nobody, it's like so hard to trust people. And now I'm even acting funny with God, even though I know he's not like men and everything like that. But then at the same time, he do everything on his time. And that kind of irritates you as somebody, because when you don't have a lot of stuff, or you're missing stuff, or you're lacking things that you need to as a necessity, especially affection and stuff like that, like, it makes you controlling. You want to control everything in your life. You know what I'm saying? It makes you aggressive. It makes you rage, like, so you're doing everything. You're successful. You're hyper successful, but it's all coming from a negative place. And now you as God, when I was going through all that stuff, now you want me to let you control everything. And part of you is like, so why didn't you control while all that was happening? You know what I'm saying? It's like when I tell you, oh. This is the side of Christianity and everything that I'm like, I was very uncomfortable with showing, but I want to be honest, because you're gonna deal with a lot transforming into what God has called you to be. And so I don't want to be that fake phony person. We got too many fake phonies in church and everything else, trying to act like everything is peaches and cream. And that's why when people leave and the devil come, they all distraught. They don't know what to do. And everybody learning stuff the hard way because nobody want to say the truth. We got to allow God to heal our soul. And we got to spend time with him, because if you ask him about certain things, he will explain it to you. He will show you what happened. He will show you where he was. Because where was God? Where were you? Where were you? And he will show you where he was. And he will show you all the things that you missed because you were so focused on your pain that you never saw him try to reach out to you, bro. He's going to show you all those times he was trying to get you to go right and you went left. Because you weren't listening. And you know why you weren't listening? Because you abandoned yourself. Or because you were listening to all the lies that the enemy was telling you, because you were so shattered that all you could hear was the lies. Because you already believe them. And the craziest part, no, there were so many people who no one ever really talked about mental health until recently. And so it's like you didn't even have the tools to fix nothing. And some of us still don't believe in the tools to fix anything. Not me, because I definitely got me a therapist. I had a therapist for like a good year and a half. Now I feel like I'm in a good place where I handle things with God now because me and him have built a relationship. But I'm gonna be honest with you, I have good friends that I talk to as well though, because even with God, like God, he will tell you everything, he'll do everything, but there's some times where you so messed up that you don't even hear him. I'm gonna be 110% with you. There's some times where you feel so messed up that you can't even hear God. And that's when you need your church. And hopefully you have a good church that ain't gonna sit there and mess you up more. You know? That's when you need a therapist. That's when you need those good friends. But if you are somebody who's so broken that you don't feel safe in relationships, you keep distance from people and everything like that, you don't even have friends. You don't even have community. I know this is a long video, but if you stay to the end, it's because you got some stuff going on. You got some stuff going on. And I want to encourage you to seek God, and not just seek God, but give him some real time. Choose God daily, but start off with choosing God, and I mean choosing him. Giving him a bunch of your time, like almost overdosing on God for like a good month. Because God needs your yes, he needs your access. He is not going to come and he's not going to try to knock you over with all his love and mercy and everything like that. He's not going to try to force himself on you, because that's kind of what abusers do, bro. God's not going to try to act like an abuser. He's not going to force you to be like, no, you come here now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, no. He's love. And part of love is allowing the person to accept you back. And that's what I'm praying for you guys. I'm praying that you learn to accept yourself back, so that you can have the right people around you that will accept you. And I'm praying that you will allow God to accept you back, so that you can have a relationship with him that will show you love that you can't get anywhere else. That will give you that ride or die person, that, because no one can hang in with you through everything. I don't care what you say. They'll try their best, but everybody has a folding point. But not God. And I'm like, bro, I want to do a prayer. But today I'm going to ask y'all to pray for me. Because sometimes facing life, man, it's tough, bro. But I could never give up. I could never give up, bro. And I hope that you know that God has a plan for you, man. No matter what today look like, there's a tomorrow that's calling your name, where no one's going to recognize who you are, because you're going to be so good. You're going to be so better. And there's love and acceptance like you've never seen in that life. Your family's going to be better. The generations after you are going to be better. You're going to have purpose. Your dreams are going to come true. And I just want to stand with you to believe that. You got to believe it now. When things are not good, when you're tired and you still got to get up, you got to believe it now. Because that's what faith is, guys. And I believe that you're going to make it. So I just want to say I love you today, like for real. I really love y'all. Like, stay strong out there. Everybody who's dealing with something, especially during this season, it's their Christmas, and some people are missing family members and everything else, y'all. Y'all stay strong. Knowing that God got you, man. I love you so much. And God bless you for real.